Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of This Podcast Ends With You. I am the host, Amadeus, and with me I'll have Osmaneku and Myra as my wonderful co-hosts. In this inaugural episode, we'll be talking a little bit about the anime preview, the PV3 trailer, some merch that we just can't afford, and of course, the YMCA, all things that are close to any Toei fan's heart. If you want to be a part of the live recording of these podcasts, you can join me on my Twitch channel, Amadeus_, on Saturday, the 27th of March at 8 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that being said, here is the first episode of This Podcast Ends With You. Enjoy. Everything's happening. Hi, hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me just pull over the gameplay screen here. Look at me, there we go. Look at that, smoothness. You thought I was gonna mess up right from the beginning? Nope, I believed in me. Like I was 100%. I was sitting back here in a hammock, eating my, drinking my. I'm completely calm.
It's one of those things.
It's one of those. It's not your
he's
turn
putting
yet.
on this.
It's not your turn to speak. You will wait your turn. I am host. You will wait your turn. This may be a podcast, but I there's a hierarchy of voices here. Okay. First things first. Hello and welcome. I know there's a lot of new peeps in here that are not usually in my stream. Welcome everybody. My name is Ahmed, also known as Amadeus. That is my Twitter. And with me, I have my beautiful and wonderful co-hosts here. If you would all go introducing yourselves, starting with Neku.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Osmaneku. Most people just call me Neku. I have been in the fandom for a very long time, since the game came to the West, and I'm very excited to be here screaming about this game for the first time in a while. Last time I was screaming about this game was with Ahmed and Mai a few months ago when we saw the game announcement. So I'm very excited to be here doing this again. Mai, take it away.
Oh, well, I'm Myra. Most people just call me Mai. I run the Neku for Smash Twitter, and I met these guys because of that. And well, we just scream about Toei all the time, and it's great.
That's basically what happened. How this came about is that we were I was like, I saw the countdown, and then I fell into like a vegetative state for like a day, because I was like, I can't believe they're about to seriously hit us with the solo remix mix up again, right? I was like, this is gonna be a re-release for the 3DS or something. And
that was a major fear for everybody. Like, everyone was really scared this countdown was going to be Soul Remix. It was going to be a mix-up of 8 years ago again.
Everyone's PTSD was just going off.
Yeah, and then it did turn out, and it turned out to actually be the new game, and I bought these guys along to watch the reaction with me, and I screamed my head off. See, the thing is about that reaction is because my sister was studying in the other room, so like that was my muted reaction. But
he would have screamed louder. I have heard the full Pog Ahmed at this point.
It's and that's where I met these fine folk. Well, I've known Nick for a little while. That's where I met Mai, and then we were like, I approached these guys, and I was like, we should do a podcast, because this is the most I've heard like Toei talked about, and basically since the game was released. This is like, with the anime coming out and the new game coming out, I was like, man, there's a lot of eyes on this game right now, and we should definitely talk about it. And here we are. So how this will be working is that this is going to be a bi-weekly podcast with the three of us plus potential guests. That will be happening. So yes, every second week, I'll be streaming it here live, Saturday, 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because time zones are really weird. And I will be uploading this onto YouTube, and then we're also trying to work on putting it up on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. For those of you who are regulars on this stream, I should point out, I will be mainly focusing on the conversation here. You're more than welcome to chat. I will be checking in with chat and sort of taking questions much later. But I will be mainly focusing on the conversation here. And we will be, the alerts as well have been muted, just for the sake of people expecting sick jams whenever alerts go off. That will not be quite happening. However, let's get cracking here, because there's a lot to talk about, guys. There's a lot to talk about. We were gonna start this podcast 2 weeks ago, but then we decided to wait, which is a good thing, because in the last 2 weeks a lot has happened.
A little too much, if you ask me. Like a little too many things have happened.
Life really just hits.
It's just it all happened all at once.
Like we had PV1. We had PV1 like 3 weeks ago, right? I think it was 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And we were like, okay, we can talk about that. That's enough for us to talk about. We can start. And then we delayed it. And all of a sudden, PV2, PV3, the ticket sale open, the event happening tonight, the preview episode on the 2nd, like everything just started dropping like rocks.
Yes.
Like everything is just happening. And I'm sitting here in my chair last 3 weeks going, could we have timed this any better? Like seriously, could we have timed the start of this any better than we have?
No. It's pretty much as good as it's gonna get. Like I was potentially thinking about making this on Sunday so we could post our reactions to whatever they're previewing. You guys say tonight. For me, it's tomorrow morning. You boys rise up.
Yeah, you get to sleep, you son of a bitch.
Yes, it's great. I will enjoy my beauty sleep, and hopefully we won't get schmixed by. Could you imagine if they just screen Rent a Girlfriend just to really like stick a mingle finger to the entire community?
That would be so funny.
Oh man, it's like
imagine them just randomly playing Rent a Girlfriend. In the background is the audio for the episode.
Oh.
Like all we can hear is fucking Neku, Shiki, Ryan, Beat just screaming in the background, but it's Rent a Girlfriend on the front, and it's like, this doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong.
For those of you who doesn't actually know, could you like just summarize real quick the Rent a Girlfriend thing? Because in case people don't know, because I think it's an amazing story.
This is my favorite story for the fandom.
So good.
So there was, I think it was like 2 months ago now, there was supposed to be a PV1 was streaming on Japanese news channels at like 1:30 in the morning for them, which is like noon for most of us. What ended up happening is we all like got together even at work and just started watching a Japanese online stream of the channel it was supposed to be on. They didn't tell us what time the PV was going to be. We sat there for half an hour watching Rent a Girlfriend, getting invested in Rent a Girlfriend, and at the very end of it, after the credit sequence for Rent a Girlfriend, we got our 1.5-minute PV. We bonded over Rent a Girlfriend.
How do you think? How much money do you think that anime paid Square Enix for the free publicity?
I have no idea, and I don't want to know.
How much do you think? Like, that's had to have been what happened, right? Would you have watched Rent a Girlfriend? Like, let's be real here.
Like, the only thing I can imagine is Rent a Girlfriend producers are approaching Square Enix and going, "Hey, you have an entire Western audience about to watch 1.5 minutes of screen. Do you mind if we just, steal like 300,000 people?"
It worked almost too well. Speaking of things working too well, do you guys want to start looking at should we talk about should we go through this PV3 first, or do you guys want to talk about this thing that's happening tomorrow? Because we could honestly talk about these in either order.
Let's talk about the event happening tonight, tomorrow first, because that is like the really big thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, so from what I know, I'm just gonna try and pull up a good person would have this ready to pull up on the side. Unfortunately, I am not a good podcaster. But the information is, you know what? Tell us a little bit about this event, Neku. Tell us a bit about what's happening tomorrow.
I actually would like to pass this to Mai.
Okay. Well, with the event tomorrow, so there's going to be the anime preview that'll be happening actually, it's just the first episode. And then after that, there will be a question and answer with the main cast. And then, there's the online virtual museum that's opening up with all the fan art that people have submitted on Twitter, and even saw that there's some art from some of the artists on the team.
So before we even get into like the preview of the episode, which is what we're all really here for, can I just say how fucking hype it is that the Square Enix like not Square Enix, but like the animation team went out of their way to build an art museum with fan art.
Yeah, it's really sick. It's awesome. I love that they're acknowledging that that's happening.
Like I never expected a company to go out of their way and go, hey, post to this hashtag on Twitter and we will feature your fan art on this alongside actual art from the major teams. That blows. I've never heard of this. I've never heard of an event happening like this outside, like in Japan or in the US. This blows my mind.
Yes.
It's so good. They're doing so well at promoting the anime and the new game, and it's just blowing my mind after seeing what happened with Final Remix.
We don't talk about Final Remix.
Yeah, that's why I'm not celebrating.
To rewind back to Final Remix so everyone's aware, when Final Remix was first dropped, there was practically no advertising for it outside of like inside stores. There were ads playing in like Best Buys, and the only reason why I know that is because I was in one. I was working there. The issue really became no one was advertising it. Like Nintendo didn't put any real commercials out. Square Enix didn't put any commercials out. So the thing almost bombed. And the worst part of it was, I don't think this was an actual quote or anything, but I'm pretty sure they were banking on Final Remix selling well to feed into Neo Twiwi. I bet that was the plan, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, like at one point they had said that we are hoping to get a lot of people to buy this game, and maybe that'll open up for a sequel. And I think that they've had a sequel lined up for a while. They just haven't had the resources or like the green light to go ahead and just do anything with it.
Also, as everyone can see right now, Ahmed has pulled up the website on the side. Ahmed, go ahead and scroll down real slow. Show them everything.
I would if I could, champ. It's not working. It's fine.
It's not letting
Don't
you?
worry about it. It's not scrolling down. But you know what? It's fine. Sometimes in life, shit just doesn't happen the way you want it to. That's
We'll
just
fix
how it
that
works
for the next
sometimes.
podcast.
Oh my god.
It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Guys, we're professionals. I'm professional. Don't worry about it.
Quick for
It's
the people watching us live.
It's totally okay. But see, I told you this would go exactly according to plan.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes 100% according to plan always.
Absolutely.
But yes, yeah. So that's what's happening. Like the virtual, again, the virtual museum thing. Like it is insanely cool. That is something that they're even doing, and then the preview tomorrow should be cool. One thing I noticed about the preview tomorrow, right, is we should point out where people can get the tickets, which I do have on hand. I can post that in chat real quick. It is right there. Boom. If people want to buy tickets, it was around 30 euros for me, and I bought the one where it's you get to go to the main preview, and then you get to go to the Q&A afterwards. I do want to point out though, for anybody who's gonna buy these tickets, the preview afterwards, like there's an English interpreter for the first part, where the preview of the anime is being shown in the little speech beforehand. The next part with the Q&A with the cast is not have any English interpretation. So just so you guys are aware.
So if you don't speak Japanese, good luck.
Yeah. There's also, and it really pains me to say this, right? It really hurts my soul that this is something that I have to talk about. But they have this sick ass skateboard deck that I really want to buy, but I can't afford. It's a really like sick. You have to pay like, it's like 130 euros, right, for that ticket, where like you get to go to the event and like both of them, and then you also get to get like this sick ass skateboarding deck. I don't even skateboard, but it looks so good that I just want to put it up on my wall. It's so pretty.
It is one of those. Go ahead.
It's like any merch that comes out, I just want to buy it just because it looks so pretty. But I'm like, I'm broke.
It's like, what's money? Like, what's this material thing that I need to buy all my favorite things? So two things would be for our US residents, the world premiere on its own is about $25 USD. To get the talk session with the cast afterwards, about $35 USD. To buy the skateboard and have it shipped internationally is $185 USD. and that you get the episode preview, you get the talk show, and you get the skateboard deck. But it's $180 just basically for the skate deck, and that bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, it's a super limited run. I understand that you can't get this afterwards, but that seems a little steep to me.
Yeah. It's kind of steep.
Like, I love how it looks. Don't get me wrong. I want it. I cannot drop $180.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, it's the pain of not having money. Like, if I had the money, I absolutely would. It hurts my soul that I can't.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, a few years down the line, it'll end up on eBay, and I'll probably buy it at that point when I have money again. But, like, I'll pay triple the price, and I understand that.
See, I still want the art book.
Like, look at this. Like, look at that, man. I want that in my life. Are you serious?
It's so pretty. Like, it has the full cat mural. It has the pins that Neku uses on the regular on the top of the deck and the full logo. You cannot tell me this is not the perfect merch for anyone that watches this stuff, because skateboarding is tied so close to graffiti culture. But my God, I wish I had money.
It's just I just want to hang it on my wall. I just want it there. It's so pretty. But you know, I mean, just look at my getup. Did this look like somebody who has money to you? Think about it.
We're all in rags, dude. Like, I've got torn sleeves. Okay, I don't got money.
Maya's out here in a dress, showing all of us up. This is bullshit.
Well, I mean, my jeans are a little ripped, but I mean, they're supposed to be that way. So
they have flowers on them, all right?
They have flowers.
Yeah, they have flowers on them. You can't tell me that's like on purpose. You look like one of those rich kids that are just trying to look poor. Kills me every time. Let me grab the preview here.
Ahmed, you mentioned you don't skateboard. Like, do you like
no.
any sort of like actual like exercise outdoor activities? Just as a curious question.
Do I do any sort of physical activity? Is that your question? No.
Essentially.
That is like not any kind of sport. No, I'm very physically active and just walking around and doing a bunch of stuff, but no specific sport. No.
What about you, Mike?
Swim?
Yeah, I swam competitively for about 10 years. And I was good at it, not gonna lie. But then I got injured and I had to stop, and it makes me sad all the time.
Sabotage.
Yeah, and so I work at the where I swim all the time, so which is a YMCA. And
do we want to bring up the YMCA thing now? Do we want to talk about this?
All
right, can I? Damn. All right.
Let's go ahead and talk about this.
Okay, there's gonna be no better time. No, I need to describe this because this was a journey for me. All right. Okay, hear me out, guys. All right. I'm European, right? I live in Ireland, so I did not know that YMCA was. I didn't know what YMCA. I only knew YMCA as a song, right? And then I was talking to Mai yesterday, and she said something about YMCA, and I was like, "Huh?
Yeah, you
mean the band,
about, like,
right?
where it worked."
Yeah, and she was like,
"No."
Like, oh, I was at the YMCA, and I was like, "Haha, very funny, like the song." And she was like, "No, I'm actually working at the YMCA." I was like, "What does that mean?" And she was like, "It's a gym." And I was like, "It's a gym!" and then I was like, I couldn't believe her for like 5 minutes until I had to Google it myself. And then I called Neku and I was like, "Neku, can you believe this shit? YMCA is a gym?" And he was like, "Yeah, YMCA is a gym." And I was like, "What do you mean you knew?"
Like I was playing a game at the time, and he pinged me and he was like, "I need you in here now." And I go, "Oh no, something's broken for the podcast." So I pop in and he goes, "Did you know YMCA is a gym?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, is this a question? He goes, "No."
It's also like, it's like young. What does it stand for?
Young Man's Christian Association.
Yeah.
Yuck. How did I not know that?
And it's one of those things where you think about it, like, well, most people know the song, obviously, because it's so popular. Mm-hmm. And like it became an icon song over time. So most people forget the YMCA is an actual organization, and they paid for that to be made.
Look, man,
blows my mind.
I didn't know
Like
that.
how many people don't understand that this is actually an association? It always makes me laugh, especially when they're not in the US.
It hurts my brain. Also, good news, guys. For some reason, the scrolling thing only affected that website, which, I mean, thank you, thank you, the internet. Now I have it working again.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
guys. This may not sound like the YMCA thing might even sound like a big deal, right? But you gotta understand, this was like at like 11 p.m. I'd been staring at this overlay because I was working on it yesterday, like all day, and my brain was frying. I was definitely I was very fragile in my state of mind, and the goddamn YMCA knowledge sent me over the edge.
The YMCA broke your brain, and it was the funniest interaction that we have had since we have been friends.
It was so good.
I guess he was screaming like at the top of his lungs about this shit. It was so good.
I was hot.
Super fucking heated.
In conclusion, the preview's tomorrow. Go watch it.
So let's actually go back to the preview. And let's here's the part where we discuss theories about what the first episode is going to be. Because of how I believe this is just a thought of mine that they're only going to be able to do 12 to 24 episodes. If they do 24, they'll be able to actually spread out the missions like per day per mission, which gives us a lot more detail and a lot more look into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's only 12, what do we think is going to happen?
That's a good question.
Who has a guess?
I was trying to think of like for the first episode, because I was trying to remember how long the first day was, but I think that they might try to get day 1 and 2 in one episode and end it at like where Cheeky's being choked.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's
and
a super good way. Like, that is a super good first episode if they do that.
I could definitely see that being a cliffhanger. Like Shiki being choked out day 2, that would definitely be a big point.
I mean, it's basically built that way as a moment.
Like, I think it's during PV2 that I remember seeing the choke moment, and I think it was Shiki being surrounded by noise. Like, does anyone else remember this weird moment?
No, it was like Neku being possessed by noise. So apparently that's how that is now. And it makes sense because he was upset.
Like, that makes sense to me, but I'm wondering if it's an add-on to the scene or if it's now the catalyst for the scene. That's my question. Like, is it what the hell is her name? I always forget.
Yuzuki?
Yeah. When she like tells him, if you want to get out of the game, kill her. And he goes, okay. If they added that onto the scene to make it to where, he's like really thinking about this and it's really tearing him up, that would be great. But if it's just noise possesses a player, that changes how the game works.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what they're doing. I think that it's just all the negative emotions that he's feeling and that they're just becoming something worse. Enough where he's like, gonna kill his partner.
I mean, aren't the noise, can't the noise possess people and then they like turn them like moody? Like in the
they can possess people in the RG, not the UG.
Yeah.
Oh,
at least it's in the game. That's why I'm confused, because I'm like, if he gets possessed in the UG, that changes how the game works. Like, the players can be possessed.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But like the thing is when you're mentioning the number of episodes, right? Is that like while there are obviously significant moments in each week, there are definitely also like not filler, but there are like sort of side stories that could be glossed over. You don't really necessarily need to go in depth with. Like the like, as much as I love the noodle guy, right? that stuff isn't essential to the overall story. So if they really wanted to push it to make it like 12 episodes, I'd imagine like they cut some of that stuff out and they could do like 4 episodes per week or something, right?
Well, I really don't want them to come out Ramadan, because that's a really like when you play the game, Ramadan actually affects Neku on an emotional level and it starts making him open up.
I'm not saying this is what I would want them to do. I'm just thinking what they might do if they really wanted to make it 12 episodes. I would see. Here's the thing. I don't even necessarily want it to be like 24 episodes long or just be super long. I just want it to be high quality. I want quality over quantity. That's my big thing. I also don't want them to mess up the storyline, but that's a different conversation.
That is always my concern. because
Yeah.
like you think about it and you go, if they play with the story too much, it's not the game that we all grew up with. It's not the same thing anymore. And I
Yeah.
wonder how it's going to affect things.
I don't know. I'm not sure. There's already a couple of. I think that was a good point to sort of look at the PV3 again, because like there's a lot of what we're mentioning is going to be seen there with like there's some points that are different in there and there's some points that are the same. So now might be a good time to show that up. Now that I have
Let's go
actually
ahead
gotten this working. So let me just. Will we play it one time for all the way through for all the peeps that have not seen this?
I think we should still be talking, like just discussing our first thoughts,
Right. Okay. Let me do that then.
because we don't want dead air when we move on.
Yes.
So-
we'll keep this on. Like this. Like first of all, I was not expecting this. I didn't really think that something like this would come out. I thought this would mainly just be I thought that would be it, and then we just get the preview tomorrow. I didn't expect them to do a PV3 after the last one, especially
I'm
the last one. Like
super
they introduced
confused.
OP.
Like I'm so confused on certain parts of this PV and why I wanted to talk about it when it first came out. The biggest thing being the taboo noise are there, like they exist. Like the taboo noise are confirmed at this point, which means they're at least keeping the major point of the game of these noise are uncontrollable. Like
Mhm.
they exist and they're a problem.
Right.
And the other big point that at least I wanted to discuss is when PV3 came out, I decided to look at the subreddit, all the discords, etc. And one big thing I noticed is a lot of people are talking about the 3D. A lot of people. So why don't we start with Maya and get her thoughts on the 3D first, and we'll just go across the stage.
Okay. Well, personally for the 3D, I don't mind it. If I look at it too much, then like it still doesn't bother me, but it like doesn't seem like it just kind of transitions in and out of like 2D to 3D, and so you can tell, and it's kind of weird, but I just kind of accept it. And I think that my overall hype for everything just totally squashes any problem that I have with it.
I'm kind of on that boat too, right? Like it's like people are pointing out, like I can see that, and I can see like some of the 3D stuff is a little jank, but like it's an anime that's full featured with The World Ends With You. Like, are you watching the same thing? Like, so that like for me that supersedes any sort of problem like that. But let's address it. So where were you saying it's the most prominent in this trailer? Just so I can for a second.
Week 1 boss, Cookman, I forget what his name is.
Higashizawa.
Higashizawa, yep. But him in particular, when you get to him, it is very obvious that he is 3D, and that's where a lot of people were talking about it. And I'm leaning back and forth on it, because like if it goes fast enough, you can ignore it. Like you just kind of ignore the fact that it's there and just kind of let yourself be immersed, and you're fine. The other problem is some people can't immerse themselves like that, so I understand why it's a problem.
Right. So I'm trying to find this spot here.
You're really close. Or actually, I think you passed it.
Did I pass it?
Yeah, I thought he passed it.
It is at 42 seconds.
42 seconds. There I go. Timestamp. There we go. That's right. My boy Show. Okay, let's do the high tech Amadeus patent pending slow mo technology here.
You do know you can move one frame at a time by hitting period, right?
Yeah, that's the slow mo technology. Nobody knows about it.
So like, people really like watched this part of the PV, and when Show goes noise, and they were like, "This does not look good." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Why are you stopping the video?" It's like stopping it in between. Of course, it's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because like I had to ask you what part you're talking about, because like in motion it looks fine. Granted, when it's like maybe when it's 30 seconds of motion, then it might not look as good, right? But like I don't think this clip in particular in this trailer should be the source of for that much worry personally.
I actually like even being stopped. I do like how it looks, and I don't understand why they're doing it, but I it might be a budgetary reason. I'm not entirely sure. But if they do it correctly over time, which it looks like they're attempting to, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because instead of doing like half 2D and half 3D in one scene, they're just fully committing to the 3D in certain scenes, which makes everything cohesive at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like I like this shot a lot.
The shark.
Yeah.
I like this because this is 3D. That shark is 3D.
Yeah, like that looks good. Like that is a good shot.
There's a lot of good shots in this. Like this shot is also pretty good. I like this shot a lot because obviously, right? Look at me.
It's your boy.
It's my boy. But like God, I like this shot a lot.
The one thing I will definitely say is if you go backwards to where Show is actually releasing his wings, the fact that he has all 8, that detail just, wow, you actually paid attention.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, that is the number one thing about all this is that they care. Like, these guys care, and I didn't expect them to care. Like, look, I've been hurt before. Like, I'm an Ace Attorney fan. Any other Ace Attorney fan that has seen what that anime looks like knows exactly what I mean. Especially for season 1. Can I get people in chat who have seen the season 1 of Ace Attorney who know what I'm talking about?
Taylor and I, it looks really bad. Taylor and I watched it recently.
Like, that is like, I don't want. Like that could have been the worst case scenario, is that we just get like some studio who doesn't care, who just wants to fulfill a contract, right?
Also, but one thing I'm actually the one thing I'm really happy about.
Hey, go ahead.
Like every time you watch these trailers, you know they're committed because like you look at the character models, like 2D or 3D, they look good and you could tell exactly who you're looking at every frame.
Yeah,
makes me so happy.
True.
Yeah, and I think I remember in like way back in November with the like announcement trailer with the first PV that came out, and I remember them saying like when they were showing off their studio, they were saying that they were taking this seriously and that they wanted to do right by the fans.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Also, I have to comment on this. Did anyone else notice Beat just fucking slapping a bat with a skateboard? It is one of my favorite frames in this stupid PV. Just whack.
Oh, can we talk about this? No, not this asshole. Not Mr. I superiority complex over there. I want to talk about the others. Look, Mike, I'm gonna be real with you. We're planning to do this podcast for a while. I don't know. I understand your love for this boy. Like I respect him. I'm glad he exists. But I will take every opportunity to shit talk. Goddamn.
You know what? This is a good discussion point. Mai, tell us why you love Catface so much.
Yeah, you know what? Why? Why is it that I look on your on your Twitter page and I see a picture of Baldrindo and then like a bunch of don't even pretend you didn't post that.
I did. I retweeted it.
It's
like let's talk about like why we love our favorite characters real quick. So Mai, let's start with you. I'm really curious. Why do you love Joshua so much?
He's just a really fun character.
Is he? Is he really? Are you sure?
God.
He's just a douchebag, okay, and he makes me laugh first of all, but also there's just when you go into the secret reports and even going into fandom theory and really going into analyzing his character, there's just a lot more there than that he lets on. And it's where, like, I personally like to think that he has so many emotions that he just, like, suppresses and just doesn't, he acts like he doesn't give a shit. And where he's afraid of, like, getting into those emotions because then he has to she's being held at gunpoint by Josh. I don't know, I could talk about this a lot if I
keep going more detail, because once this goes on the flip side and we don't get the chance to talk about how much we hate that asshole, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, this will be sweet. The revenge will be sweet.
He has his own conflicts, so it's bad. He shot Josh. He shot Neku twice, and that's bad. Yeah. But
he may have shot the main character twice, but at least his hair is pretty cute. Like, that's your excuse right now. Like, that's what I'm hearing.
Oh my
So,
god, I hate this.
let's go on the flip side of this. Ahmed, why do you hate him so much?
Because he's a douchebag. Look at his stupid face. Can I like
The shortest answer possible.
Look, it's just that while I understand why he did what he did, I'll never agree with it. I'll never accept it. That's why that is like the main reason why I'm show is that he is the closest thing to like an anti Joshua. Is that like because he tries to go like this is the thing. I should actually address this because like I know I have like show obviously is like my profile picture right now, and obviously my getup is based on his new appearance. But like I can't pinpoint like there's a couple of characters that I like more than others, right? Like I like Neku a lot, obviously. I like Beat a lot. I like all of the characters a lot. I can't think of a character that I dislike other than Joshua. No, I don't even dislike him. I just like him less than the others. Like all shit posting aside. Like Neku's character development is great. Shiki is like one of my favorite characters. Then like I don't know if Alto's in here, but I'm gonna shout out Alto on Twitter real quick because like Neku Shiki is like probably my favorite ship in all video games. Because it's like so fundamentally like it represents what I love about like actual relationships, the relationships that I find healthy, which is mutual development. And it's so obvious in that particular relationship that they obviously just both make each other way better. And like the second he realizes that's not even what she looks like nothing changes.
He's fine with it. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Nothing changes. And it's so cute. And it's so great. And every time I see Alto post on Twitter, I like cry bitter tears. It's just like it makes me happy.
Okay. Can I just go off on that? Okay. So
Fire. Fire away.
Hold on. Before you do. All right, continue. I just gotta get in character. I gotta cock my gun. All right, go ahead.
With like Neku and Joshua, they have a lot of like I really like their relationship and like because you know Neku can't stand Joshua, but at the end of the second week, he's like, oh shit, this guy sacrificed himself for me and he was my friend. And so it's just like the whole dynamic that goes through a whole roller coaster of being like pulled every direction, and that's how Neku feels in the final game. And then when he wakes up in the street and he's like, everyone's fine, everyone's alive, Shibuya's all good, and he gets to go be with his friends, and he can't forgive Joshua, but he's not like pissed at him, he's thankful. Yeah, he's and Joshua himself like is up on the roof just being like, wow, well this kind of sucks. I didn't intend to make a friend.
So I have a couple of comments on the Neku Joshua ship, but I would talk about my favorite characters first. Obviously my favorite character in the game is Neku. It's the reason why I picked up the name and I've been carrying it for so long. Her main character, blah blah blah. Let's skip over that. The reason why he is so important of a character and the reason why he is so very well written and has such incredible growth is because he has so many people around him that influences him so hard, so fast. He doesn't know what to do. So he just has to accept it and move on. And the point in my life where I was playing the game, it taught me the life lesson of there are people around you that do care. They may not show you the way that you want, but they do care and they're trying to help. And it helps anyone who was under the age of 18 when they played this game. It helps them grow up a little bit as a person, watching him go through this hell and a half of 3 weeks. It's so good to watch him go from I hate everyone, everything, every sound, I'm going to wear headphones continuously forever, up to the point of I can finally take these off and accept the world for what it is and continue on as an adult. And it's so sweet and so lovely, and I love him so much. Character,
and then you have Stryker, right, who has equally as deep motivations and complexities as a character. Like, you know, Striker, like, oh, let's play goddamn Tinpin! Like, the exact same level of depth.
The other character that I will always keep an eye on, and Willow, thank you for everything you have done for this character. Hanekoma, Mr. H, is the deepest character in this game, in my opinion. And I will argue this point for weeks.
I agree with that.
Like, when you read the secret reports, you find out how much pain and turmoil he is going through for 3 weeks with this kid. He's like, he's been dead for 3 weeks. He does not deserve this, but because of my asshole boss, I cannot help him. Yeah. And it's so fucking, it hurts so good. Like, you look at Mr. H and it's just like, you are the baddest motherfucker in this game, and my god, I hope you get more screen time soon. Because the secret reports give him all of his character development through just reading, and it's so good. Now, before I get into why I don't like Neku Joshua, Neku Shiki is the purest ship on the planet, and I don't think anyone can argue with me at this point.
Yes.
Literally, he fell in love with her over the course of a week and made her his entry fee. Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
So good. I have two major issues with the Neku Joshua ship. One, Joshua is a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
He's not even a man. He's not even a man. He's not. He's like a celestial being.
Like, he is basically a fucking century-year-old god. He is an old-ass man. Creeps me the fuck out. The other part of it is he literally used Neku as a pawn.
Yes. Sorry.
Literally, Neku was just a pawn to him. He was like, I want to make it to where I can erase Shibuya, and you are going to be my reason for doing so. He killed him, put him in the game, and trapped him there for 3 weeks to prove someone couldn't change. And then when he was proven wrong, he finally goes, oh, maybe I'm wrong. And then he decides not to destroy the city because Neku couldn't shoot him. I don't like that. Like, yes, Joshua grew as a character and he learned things, but that is infuriating. Like, you literally picked one person as a pawn, used them, and then tossed them to the wayside, never to talk to them again unless you absolutely have to. It's the reason why I don't like that shit.
Like, see, like, the thing they said that, like, I think the thing about, like, him not, bringing everything back to normal because he couldn't shoot him, like, I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just, it's not, people can have good relationships and be cool characters together without being a ship. There's, like, that's how I feel about it. It's how I feel as well about, like, I hate to bring up Ace Attorney again, but it's how I feel about, I guess, like, the Phoenix Wright Edgeworth ship. I feel the exact same way about that. Of people can be friends or people can have connections without being in a relationship. And also, like
being...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, also the fact that, like, Neku Shiki even exists, right? Like, that in itself nullifies the need for any other ship in that situation.
Like, you can tell it's written for that ship. And again, I understand why Neku Joshua exists. It's literally the fucking cat and mouse dynamic. But I also cannot agree with the fact that people are like, Joshua loves Neku more than anything. I'm like, no, he doesn't. No. He literally killed Neku to make a point. Twice. Ironically, fucking Amnesia just comes on in my playlist. Super sad soundtrack.
But yes, what do we learn here today? Neku's the best. Joshua, look, like, I'm not gonna hate on Joshua, right? He's fine. I like him. I respect his purpose in the story.
I respect what he stands for. I don't respect his methods.
It's kind of like a love to hate him kind of thing, you know?
And that's all it is, really. There's just a lot of stuff in the post. Like, I've gotten way too into reading people's, like, theories and stuff, and then also there's also fan fiction that goes with those theories and takes the characters and just, like, there's this one, it's called Signal to Noise, and it's like my headcanon sequel until, like, Neo comes out. And it's just so good, and it builds upon the entire world and all the characters, but also a lot of focus on Joshua and what he's going through after the game. So that's where it comes in for me, is that there's a lot there, and I just can't go into it because it's not canon.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. It's like the differentiating fan fiction from canon is really hard when the fan fiction is written really well. That's a whole nother discussion.
Yes, and like one of the interesting points that I want to, so something that I heard specifically about Nishiki that I just wanted to bring back here, just because I remember that this frame exists, and I do want to talk about this before we go too far. Let me just.
Is it week 3 in the tunnel?
No, it is a different thing. It was kind of pointed out on Twitter, but I want to talk about it here too. Let me see if I can find it. It is. People should know the clip I'm talking about.
Oh, the other thing I would also like to talk about.
Yeah,
so there is a major plot point change in this one. After Neku chokes Shiki out, she falls to the floor. Mr. H stops them, and it's just the 3 of them.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Why are Pete and Ryan there?
That's what I was going to talk about. That's what actually was. That's what I'm looking. That's the clip I'm looking for. That's what I want to bring up. Because that is a very interesting change. I'm trying to.
Again, I think it's just for condensing the story, which makes sense, but it's also like that definitely breaks the building of the relationship. It breaks the flow, in my opinion, but we'll see how they do it.
I disagree. I don't think it hurts it significantly, because like that's how I see it, is that could have been the initial the intention. There we go. That could have been the intention in the first place, and they just didn't have enough memory on the DS to put more than 3 characters on screen. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, it's keeping the scene interesting, I guess.
So like I don't mind that. It's just this kind of represents not my worry, but it's gonna be interesting to see. We're gonna keep sort of lore and how the lore of the anime will affect the game and stuff to another podcast. But just to touch on it real quick here, I'm really curious to see how like even simple changes like this will change the overall story, you know?
Yeah.
And especially since Neo will be leading on from the story of the anime specifically and not the games. In case people
don't know that. Until I see how the anime actually plays out, that's going to very much confuse me, because like you already have a 30 to 40 hour resource in the game. It's available, and we have to really keep that in mind. Also, Maya will be back in just a moment. Apparently, her power blinked.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where I also have to wonder how, because they're not using the game as a resource, how are we going to tie the secret reports into the story, or are they going to ignore them entirely?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Yeah. It'll be interesting, because like the purpose of those in the game is like it is mainly for, you know, like after the game is over and you've seen all the events, it's kind of to tie everything together. So it makes you think, like, how are they going to use it in the anime? Are they going to sprinkle it into the middle, like in the end of each episode they're going to do one, or are they going to just do a bunch of them in the end, or are they going to do a special episode, or what are they going to do? It's possible to know. It's very difficult.
The only way I can describe it is people who have watched RWBY know there's what's called the Remnant episodes, where they do a separate episode to do a lore dump. I hope they don't do that. Like making it to where like maybe at like after like make it an after credit scene, like after the ending has played, like just be on the on a screen where a secret report is there for like a few seconds so we can screenshot it and read it later. But please give us something to do that with.
Yes, that is true. Another thing about this anime that I kind of want to talk about is
also my welcome back.
Welcome back. You know, I was just gonna be very smooth, like nothing happened, but then he did that.
I had to mention it because she did disappear.
You know what, Neku? That's it. I'm not letting you hold my hand no more.
No, come back.
No. Let go of my finger.
No, I cannot let go of your finger.
No, it's done. It's done out here. Hold on, where am I? That's it.
Oh no.
I'm going back. I'm gonna go. I'm going over here now.
Come back.
Nope. You can't. You can't hold my hand no more.
All right.
That's it.
I guess you're just in the corner now.
It's this is a tragic breakup.
I was muted.
Yes, you were muted. This is a tragic breakup. So while you're hiding in the corner,
do you want to talk to us about that I am the host. I will bring up the topics.
Oh, no.
I shut up.
I'm about to. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just having a power trip. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about the OP though, because that is jamming while I bring it up real quick.
So those of you who are watching this live, raise your hand in chat if you've ever heard Ali's music before. Because if you haven't, you need to fix that right now. Ali is very much a jazz-infused rock band born in Japan, and there's so much to talk about this band. Let me pull up their band list real quick, because one of the biggest things about them is all of their members are either half Japanese or full Japanese, and they have like 7 or 8 active members at one time, all playing different instruments like drums, bass guitar, percussion, like trumpets and stuff like that. Oh, that's an ad. Somebody playing on the keyboard, there's a saxophone, there's a main guitar, I think there's a rhythm guitar on top of that. And like, they have not been around long. I think they've been around since like 2019, but they have put out such powerful music that the first song from them that I heard was the Beastars opening, which, what was the name? I think it was Wildside. I think Wildstar is the Beast. Wildstar, what's the opening? And after that, they did a Jujutsu Kaisen ending, I think. And then they, and of course, announced Teenage City Riot. They don't do a lot of music very consistently. Like, it's like a one album a year. But they take their time, they make all of their stuff really powerful, and it's so good. I cannot stop gushing about this band because of how much stuff I listen to it. The biggest thing I will definitely say is I'm so proud of these guys for coming from practically nothing and then immediately starting doing anime openings so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good. It's like, I have a soft spot for this, right? Like, I'm kind of glad in something I wasn't able to show in PB3 that I'm going to bring up here is that PB3 definitely had like a song in it that was like very much it was the most Twiwi sounding song that I've heard from this anime so far. It had the same tones. It kind of reminded me of I'm trying to remember what the song is called.
The vocals sounded very Twiwi.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There's a song in PB3 that sounded very Twiwi. And like, I was kind of disappointed when I heard like the OP for this anime wasn't Twister. Right? Because I was like,
so
man,
weird.
How are you not gonna make the Twister? And then they hit me with the fattest saxophone I've ever seen in my life. And like, listen to this. Like, just real quick. Listen to how hard the saxophone goes. Like,
it's so good. I will scream about this for days. It's I think they also brought fucking Shisho? No, it's not Shisho. I'm trying to remember the actual name for it. I know it's R-rated in English. What is your fucking... I'm looking it up right now, actually.
Gotta love it. It just it combines like... It combines for me my love for like Japanese music in general with my love for jazz in a way that I didn't think was possible. But God, it's so good. It's like I don't know how you feel about this OP.
It's growing on me a lot. At first, I was like so upset that it wasn't like Twister Remix number 50. But I really like it.
It's so it's
Arshito. Okay, that's what it was.
I love it so much. I love it.
So Ahmed and I, when this trailer first came out, Ahmed and I got into a voice call, and I was like, Ahmed, do you like jazz? And he goes, yes. I go watch the opening. And we both screamed about it for 2 hours.
Yeah. My exact moment of realization, like when I first, because like that was after like I had heard that it happened, and like I'd watched a clip of it by then, but like the very first thing that happened is I was working on like a college thing, so I was off Discord, and my buddy Kojin, who people who watch stream know who Kojin is, he was like, he texted me just saying, Ahmed, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, sure, why? And he was like, because this OP came out for the last an hour ago, and I've seen you say nothing. And I was like, oh, and then he sent it to me, and I had like a fit on my keyboard. Like it was not okay. Like I lost the keypad button. Like it flew off with how hard I was mashing the keyboard. That's not a joke. It was bad. God, it's good. God, it's really, really good. I'm really happy with it.
We all agree that we're sad that it's not a Twister fucking remix, but I also think that because of how animes go, it had to be a separate song. And the fact that Ali did it, and go ahead.
Surely they'll make one. I don't think like surely they'll like one is happening, right? They have to make one for this anime.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I think I mentioned it earlier, or I don't know, but they're probably gonna have Twister play like at a climax point, maybe like final bosses.
Yeah.
Like, if we don't hear any, like, I'd be shocked if we don't hear any soundtrack music for the game.
I'm gonna be. They did announce Ishikawa-san, which I believe is the main music producer for the game. They did announce that he is doing the sounds and the music for the anime. I would be incredibly shocked if he didn't do some kind of leitmotif or just inserted like psychedelic or something into the anime.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really weird if he didn't.
And it's one of those things where like it'll be another version of Twister. Obviously, it'll be Twister the animation. And it'll probably be during like week 2 Pig Tower or during week 3 End Boss. I would not be surprised if it did any either of those points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's true. So sort of moving on from all that. I guess the main thing to tell people is that if you can afford it, please do to come by. I understand that they're asking for people to pay 30 euros for a live stream, but like myself, and Ozma will be watching it for sure.
Yep.
I can't stream it or anything like that because there's explicit rules around not recording it and not streaming it.
Yep, we cannot do that whatsoever. So we did explicitly decide to do it today instead of on Sunday because of that rule. That was kind of one of our main reasons.
So we'll all three of us will be there. I'll be nice and rested, and these fools will be like super caffeined up to stay awake until 4 a.m. or whenever it's gonna play for you guys.
It's okay.
I mean, I got a coffee maker on standby.
But yes, we'll be there. I'll be checking out what the first episode looks like. I'll probably be crying about it on Twitter afterwards. Which reminds me, before I forget, please follow these wonderful people. But like, what are you hoping for the first episode, Neku?
I really want them to. How do I phrase this? I want them to definitely talk about the fact that Neku is definitely an introvert during the first couple of days, and then after the choking incident, he really had to open up, and Mr. H calls his ass out on it. And I really want that to be a big focal point for the first episode. And I also want to see them flex their animation muscles. Mm-hmm. Like, not even for combat, like for the little shit, like just people talking. I don't want to see static images. Like, one of my favorite anime studios is David Productions, the guys who do JoJo, Fire Force, and a few others. And one of the biggest things about them is there is never a still frame. Something is always happening. I want that for this. I want that care to be put into this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I have high hopes in that department because just from the way they spoke about it on Anime Expo, it sounds like they got very passionate people to be put on the project.
I'm so happy about that.
It's nice to see that at least Tetsuya Nomura, which, I mean, a little worried seeing like the pattern of like how storytelling with stuff Nomura's been involved with is going. But I'm not gonna let that worry cloud my judgment. I'm just gonna wait to see what they do.
So the big thing is during that event, Nomura did say he is not on the storyboarding team. He's only on the artist team, and he always has been. He's been part of this project since the beginning.
Right.
Like, he doesn't do anything with the story, so that worry does not need to be a worry, luckily.
That's good. Okay. I was slightly worried about that.
No, Nomura, like, they had Nomura off stage, and the director called him out, and Nomura's response was, I don't want this to be a thing about me. I am not the focal point. This is not my project. He explicitly said that.
Yeah. Then people joked. It was like, oh, the voice of God.
Yeah.
Like Nomura, like quick tangent. Like a lot of people don't like Nomura because of how he tells his stories, and I understand that. But he doesn't like in our particular fandom. The only thing he did was bring Neku, Shiki, beat Joshua. He brought the characters to life. He brought the designs to the table, and that is it.
Yeah.
Which I will always be thankful for. Like Nomura had a very minor role in this game, and I'm glad that he's still here. Don't get me wrong, because when Rendo and the rest of the characters were revealed for Neo, you could tell his hand was still in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's all I wanted. I don't want him to touch the story. As much as I love Kingdom Hearts, I am a big Kingdom Hearts nerd. But I was very aware of the fact that if they had brought him in the director role, we may have lost the game that we were looking for.
Possibly. It is likely that would have happened.
Like, I haven't even played Final Fantasy VII Remake because I don't really know Final Fantasy VII. So I'm waiting for them to like release all the parts and then do a big collector's one because I know it's going to happen. But I've heard nothing but strife over the things that Nomura chose to include, which apparently weren't even his original idea. It was his co-director that chose to put those in. But like the vitriol and hate that Nomura brings to the table is very, very saddening. So I'm glad that he's not in the limelight this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't really want to get bogged down with like the possible problems because I'm staying hopeful here. Again, this is like we've already won in my book. Like we got both an anime and a game coming out this year. Like in many ways, we've already won. Like who could have? If somebody came to me last year and told me that like Twiby's gonna get this much attention, I would have slapped them and been like, "How dare you lie to me?"
Imagine
like,
January 2020. Hey, just imagine January 2020. Hey, you're gonna get like all of the fucking news for Twiwi in like 6 months. I would not have believed you. I would have said you're fucking insane.
Get out of my face with that shit. 2 countdowns in 1 year, as Willow has so eloquently put it.
Oh, that is true. Yep.
But yes. So that's gonna be the main thing happening tomorrow.
Also, what's your expectation for episode 1? I think we accidentally skipped over you.
Yes, sorry, my bad. Sorry, yes.
I mean, you guys basically said it. Like, I just want it to be done well. For episode 1, I just want them to just stick to the story. They can add, of course, new things, but just don't take any of the charm out. And that goes for the entire thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, real quick, we are going to be wrapping up here soon, but if there are any questions from the chat, please start putting them in now to either myself, Neku, or Mai. Start putting them in and sort of, I'll get to them in a moment. Because I'm just going to talk about, so we talked about that the preview is happening tomorrow. The, when is the anime itself happening again? I'm trying to get dates together.
April 9th.
So April 9th. So the schedule is it's every second week. So for the podcast. So we're going to be next time we're going to be live is on the 27th of March. And that'll be the 3 of us again, and we'll be live on this channel around the same time. We'll have figured out podcast stuff at this point. We'll have figured out how scroll wheels work. A lot of things will be adjusted by then. And also that will be before the anime had started, but the anime, hopefully, in terms of watching the anime, apparently it'll be on simulcast on Funimation.
Yes.
Yes.
That is confirmed. I did find directly a Funimation article stating, hey, it's going to be simulcast on the same day that it's released in Japan about an hour later. So we will be able to watch those every week along with Japan. So I'm very, very excited for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sonic fan Chris 4 is asking if we've discussed anything about Neo Twiwi. We have very deliberately not touched on anything Neo Twiwi related yet. There will be time to discuss that. That will not be right now.
I'll go ahead and give a semi-direct answer from myself. We don't know much.
We have
we know we have like what, a 2-minute trailer, and that's really it. Like we've seen a little bit of gameplay, we've seen character designs, we don't know the story, we don't know the game masters, we don't know what's happening. There's not much to discuss, and we don't want to get into theorizing too much because that would we'd be setting ourselves up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
also
we
little
guess
points-
wrong and we get disappointed,
Like there's no real point as well in like dissecting the one trailer that we've had more than we already have, right? Like I feel like a lot of people have already kind of dissected that trailer more as much as it already has. We'll probably watch it again. We'll probably talk about it again, but I think it's best to don't get me wrong. If there is a gap and we're looking for stuff to do while we're waiting for the next episode to come out or whatever, we will sort of look back at it, and I do have an episode ready to talk about speculation in terms of how the lore will go and how the Neo 2 will go. But give it time to it'll happen soon. Don't you worry, there'll be plenty of time.
the other big thing, and the reason why we're not talking about it too much, is we actually have discussed it before when the trailer came out for like 2 hours. I'm gonna drop that link in your chat real quick, just so in case people want to know our full thoughts on it. We already have discussed it, just not like dissecting it. Because again, my big thing is I don't want to set an expectation for myself and go, it's gonna have this, and this, and it's not there. I don't want to disappoint myself, because that's what happened with Animal Crossing for me.
Yes. Next up, Ars Pitation, welcome to the stream, dude. Asks, my question's for everyone. How and when did you all get into TWIWY? What an excellent question. I don't think we've discussed, we touched on that at the very beginning.
No, we didn't.
But how I began to play. So I played it on the DS, kind of after it had been out for a little while, and that's when I just instantly fell in love with it, to be honest with you. I really love customizable combat. I love approaching stuff my own way in video games, and I just love the pin system, except for Mingle PP. But I love every other system in The World Ends With You, and the story was super cool. Like the story hit me super hard, and then like it only got more and more developed as I grew up, and like it was always kind of a me thing for a while, right? It's always something that I just kind of enjoyed but I didn't talk to people much about. And then all this, the final remix happened, and I found that there's this whole community of people who love TWIWY as much as I do that I could discuss stuff with, and it was a really cool community, and I was like, I want to be involved with this. And that just made me grow and love the games even more. And that's kind of how I sort of got into TWIWY. What about you, Mai?
For me, I've actually only been in this fandom and only been into TWIWY for not even two full years yet. So that's not a lot of time, but I have gotten very deep into it, as you can tell. But I had gotten into Kingdom Hearts 3, so it was right around the time that Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and that was my first introduction to like really anime in general, and just JRPGs and stuff. And so I went through all the Kingdom Hearts games. Actually didn't play them. I was only able to watch them on streams, and that's how it was with The World Ends With You as well. So I went through DDD, and I was like, who are these kids? I guess they're just other Final Fantasy kids. But then I was like, oh, the World Ends With You. I'll check that out because it's pretty relevant with what happened in Kingdom Hearts 3. And so yeah, I was watching a stream of The World Ends With You one day, and literally just the first 2 minutes of the game got my attention, and I was hooked. I binged it in like a day or two, and I was instantly in love. And so when I get into something that I really like, I obsess over it. So I was just getting into the fandom, getting as much content as I could, and I was only talking about TWIWY. And then I had some stuff happening in my real life, so which is where it gets even more personal to me, where my best friend and I had we had a big argument, and we were going to go our separate ways. And then I was thinking about TWIWY, as one does, and it actually made me learn a lot, and just made me take a step back and really think about what was going on her side. And I used to be very impulsive and just very easy to just explode and walk away. And with The World Ends With You, it really made me change and really just become a better person. I think, at least. And
that's super awesome.
So I sat back and I told her, I was like, I don't know what's going on with you, but I know that there must be something happening in your life, and I will always be here for you if you do need me to talk about it. Because this is not. It's. She was just lashing out at me as for someone to lash out at, and she really appreciated that. So, her and I are still best friends to this day, and I have to thank Trui for basically saving that relationship.
Thank you, Nomura. Thank you for saving this relationship.
Thank you.
That's awesome, though.
Before I get into my story, I do love hearing about people that come into the fandom late because it tells you how much staying power this game has and how much it can still influence people, how well it is written.
Yeah.
So I touched on mine a little bit in my introduction. So back when Game Informer and Nintendo Power were still a thing, still really prevalent, I came across the preview for it. And I think it was 12 or 13, and I was just getting into anime, and I was like, oh, these are anime characters. This looks really cool. My brother called me a weeb. I went and bought the game day one. And at the time, I was very much, I would call myself very much an introvert. I had maybe one or two friends, and even I didn't really talk to them. I just kind of sat with them at the lunch table, and I just kind of listened to music. Right. And I learned... just playing through the game and watching how Neku grew throughout the weeks and seeing how people interacted with him, even when he was an asshole because they cared. They even with being sort of forced in week one because they were like, hey, you have to stick with your partner. You have to be with them or else you're going to die. For some reason, that aspect of Tweeby really clicked with me. And it's like, you can't be alone forever. You really can't. It's not physically possible. I've never heard of someone who was alone forever and is 100% okay with that. And it got me to reach out to the two people that were willing to hang out with me. And I still interact with a couple of the people I knew from middle school and high school daily because of the influence the game had on me and teaching me that it is okay to have a weakness and talk to somebody and express that, hey, I care about you. I'm just bad at expressing it. And it taught me the life lesson that you just don't have to be alone. You're not alone in this world, and you can choose to have very good friends.
Yeah. That's how it was with me too.
Yeah, God, that trounces my stories. Thanks for one-upping me on my own stream, guys. I appreciate it.
It's our podcast.
It is our podcast. I'm making a joke. This whole I own this shit is a joke. I should point that out, as people think I'm super narcissistic.
Slice of Delicious Life. We must discuss the ending of Final Remix. Do we want to talk about another day?
No, we must not.
No,
if we talk about Blonde-chan with her red hair, with her red eyes, I'm gonna lose it. I'm not ready. I need to have my pills before. I refuse to acknowledge it. I will have to have had my pills beforehand because I will.
This sounds like a fun tangent. Real quick, explain why you hate Coco.
No, not Coco. No, not Coco. Other lady, blonde. Yes, her.
Oh
no, I don't want. No, I'm not ready. It's not. It's
don't even address her by her
name. This is a trauma.
This is
a button.
Also, this is definitely a topic for another day. This is definitely a topic for another day. There's I have a 30-minute debate I'm ready to give about how that woman makes me feel. She makes Joshua one of my if those were the only two characters in the game, her and Joshua would be my favorite character of all time. It wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be in the Twibby character Olympics. She doesn't even enter the Olympics. She's not even qualified to enter the Olympics. That's
wow.
Look. I'll have to talk about it later. She makes me very mad. However, so yes, we'll address that later on, Slice. If that's okay, we'll address that in a later podcast. However, one question I do want to address, I think it should be a final question that we're going to address here before we sign off, is Willow, my boy and yours, Honeycomb lover himself, Willow.
Yeah.
Who asks, what are your thoughts on the more fleshed out time differences in the trailers? Example being Nelu, which I assume is Neku, falling off Pork City in PV3 happens at night. And the show fight is at sundown.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of having this anime, is that they can now flesh out stuff like this and really give a lot of these scenes extra depth. Not just the examples you gave, but even stuff again, the choking scene, which is that's an extra detail that nobody even considered. until that was shown.
I will definitely say, seeing time move forward in the anime shocked me at first. And then I remembered some of these games have like 5 to 6 hour time limits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? Week 1, day 3, when they have to go kill the golden bat. That's a 6-hour mission. And we
Yeah.
are still in the middle of the day until we walk into the stage, and all of a sudden it's pitch black.
Yes, it's cool. Like I'm really excited to see. Like that is the stuff I'm super excited to see. I'm super excited to see how like they're gonna reinterpret some iconic scenes from the game. I can't wait to see that shit.
I can't wait to see how the hell Shiki's gonna get up on the rafters like in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, is Neku just gonna fucking pick her up and chuck her by the ankle? Like, how is that gonna work?
I want to see the sewing scene really bad.
I need.
Oh
to-
my
I was
god,
about to say
yeah.
that. If he doesn't get pants in the middle of Shibuya, that episode
It's-
was still gonna be good. But
Take them off. Take them off. Take
Alright,
them off.
I need that shit in my life.
Oh my
Um,
god! If we do not get, it's actually a defining character moment for Shiki, ironically, because it shows that she's a seamstress, which ties directly into her entry fee.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
It
Yeah, but
is
there's also
such
the
an
mo- there's
Go
also the moment with her in 10-4 that Neku and her are talking about. Like, it's also the introduction to brands. They got that down, and they also got into her and how she made Mr. Mew. So they could just do that scene.
I agree, but we need the funny
But
meme
we need
moment.
it. We need it. Yeah.
We do need it. This is true.
All right, Ahmed, do you want to call for closing thoughts?
I think that now is a good time. We've been going for a
An hour and a
solid
half.
while. Yes. Let me get your closing thoughts on anything we've talked about today, or how today went, or just about the preview tomorrow, and then I'll sort of talk logistics before we sign off. So, Mai, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. To be honest, I think this podcast went so well. We've been sitting at like 25 to 30 people in the chat, and that's just saying something. How everyone here is just here to talk about Trui, and just everyone just loves it, and it's so nice to see so many people in this community coming together as the nerds we are, because we're all so passionate for this.
To tie on to that, it blows my mind that our first episode, explicitly talking about like almost one subject the entire time, gathered a classroom full of people and everyone stuck around. Thank you all so much for being here. It is so nice to see how tight this community is, and we cannot wait to continue to do it.
I truly had zero expectations for this. I was thinking oh my god. I was thinking, do I even open the floor to chat? Because I didn't even know if I was gonna have people in chat. And the love and the support you guys have shown even to this point is it means the world to me and to all of us in general. So thank you so much, from the bottom of my heart stones. There'll be more. There'll be more stuff added. Hopefully, thank you as well for all the love about the art already. The art was not done by us. It was done by Avide in chat. How do I best plug? Neko, can you put?
I'll grab her Twitter and we can do that.
Yes. But yes, congrats on playing the episode. Thank you. So in terms of plans, well, I should also say I think this went exceptionally well. Neku and this is obviously a team effort, but personally, as the person who sort of brought this project up and hosted it, I couldn't have done this without you guys, your support, not just on the day, but also keeping me sane and keeping this. There was a day when I was gonna run this stream. True story. I was gonna run the stream 2 weeks ago, and I talked about how busy that week was for me, and these guys were just like, "No, you're not doing it. You're not gonna do all 7 of these things and start the podcast. We're just gonna delay it." So even that level of care for my well-being means a ton. So I have to say it out loud that I love these guys for that. And also for being on the podcast. And this is a small sample of the love that this community has for each other. It's a really good community, and hopefully we can provide content that you guys will enjoy. Which, speaking of, this content will be coming at you the VOD will stay on Twitch for the next month or two, and then I'll also be uploading this on my personal YouTube channel. We will also be looking into putting this up on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Check out the Neku for Smash Twitter for that. Shilling time is upon us, so Slice has already done it. My God.
Yeah, let's go ahead of us on this one.
So there's my Twitter. The Neku for Smash. We're all mods on Neku for Smash in different capacities. So please follow that for all the news and all the good stuff. And a lot of the news for this podcast will sit on my Twitter and their Twitter, sort of respectively, depending on what's happening, and as well as sort of where we'll be circulating this podcast later. And more importantly, we need you. I want to try and point at the chat, but I don't think I might be able to do it, so I'm just gonna do.
You can't point at chat right now.
We need you. To I need your art, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. There is a lot of. Oh my God. There is a lot of. Yes, you. We want to show fan art, and we want to show this community's creativity to the world. And what I'd love to do is I'd love to have fan art showing on screen. I'd love to have fan remixes or fan music on at the start of the podcasts. I'd love to just share the community and all the great content that they produce on this podcast in some way. We're going to be doing some sort of forum soon on how you can participate and how we're going to do all that. But please do stay tuned to my own Twitter and also the Neku for Smash Twitter for stuff to do with that, and you can submit your drawings and all your good stuff, and they will be featured in some way or another on the podcast.
Also, to be clear, you don't have to draw just us. You can draw anything The World Ends With You related. So, please, you want to draw your own character, you want to draw a particular character. As people were saying, I can only draw one character. Draw that one character. Please send it to us. We like seeing art. It's beautiful.
Willow, are you seriously making questions about whether I should? If my folder is not filled with only Hanekoma pictures, I'll be very disappointed in you, champ. I'm gonna just say it. I'll be real with you. But yes,
also, you can ping any of our Twitters, including Neku for Smash, our personal Twitters, etc., and we will bring them into our group chat, and we can discuss what we want to put on. But the biggest thing is just, please, we want everyone to participate in this as much as they possibly can. Whatever you want to share, we can put on.
Yes. With that being said, I do not have a closing screen yet, so this is embarrassing. But thank you all so much for watching. This has been incredible. Thank you guys for being around. All the dudes in chat. Willow, Slice, Mama Boys in here. Xilra, thank you very much for hanging around. Kusuri, thank you very much. Luca, of course, thank you. Our reputation. Thank you all for all your participation. I appreciate you very much. I'm Amadeus. This is my channel. I stream on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I'm not doing the podcast. So you can check out what's happening there. You can find all these dudes on their own personal selected forms on their Twitters mainly.
Also, if you're watching this on Spotify, his Twitter is RockMeAmadeus. It is not Amadeus _.
Yes, I should point that out. Yeah, oh yeah, people listening on this. Oops. Serves me right. But yes, I'm Amadeus. Also, it'll be at RockMeAmadeus on Twitter. Neku is Ozma Neku, and Myrae will be Myrae Zed, spelled MIYRAEZED.
Don't question it, just do it.
Yeah, don't question it. She'll come at you.
The spelling's a whole story.
Also, Mai, do you have any closing thoughts before Ahmed kicks us out of here?
No, I don't. It's done really well.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you all very much for coming. We'll be back on the 27th at 8 p.m. GMT and 3 p.m. EST. And I'll see you guys later.